Anti-Afro says, she said, as passed if he can imagine crying in agony on any of his children's birthdays.
No, listen. Listen. No, listen. I'm gonna listen. Look, anti-afro, stop being messy. No, I'm saying the anti-pastor say stop being messy. Stop being messy, anti-afro. I'm gonna drop a video on you next. No, play with.
Anti-Afro Svengalis. I told you before that humor has its place, even when you're talking about a serious issue. But we got some humor off, and now we're going to take care of some business. We got to set some things straight. And when I say set things straight, this is what I am communicating on behalf of all decent people. Demons and freaks and liars and backstabbers and stalkers and abusers and just underbelly uncivilized vermin. And no doubt about it, they're very anxious to see which child they can torment next. They love tormenting children. They want them thrown out windows. They want to ask the parents if their children are effing. They aim to torment children. They know children are around and could hear anything. That's why they do what they do. They want the children to suffer. And if they can't get a reaction out of the parents, they'll go for the children. You mean to tell me somebody like this is someone who belongs anywhere other than Loserville with a bunch of losers hollering and screaming about other men and trying to figure out how they can target more children so their parents can pay attention to them? That's the only way they can get the attention of these parents, is targeting their children. I need to send a reminder before I continue with this video. Then I'm going to come back and tell you what's really going on here. Stay tuned and I will return.
I'm studying my opponent. I've heard that they are recording our live streams. I heard it from the horse's mouth herself. To record the live streams, listen in, record it before anybody could go in and take it down. They trying to use our words against us. Because we're not dealing with, some amateurs here. I heard it from the source's mouth today that she's giving orders to people to not only listen in, but to record these live streams. So yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
She's so quick to call the police.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. And I am so glad that support system really pushed for this. I don't like taking credit for ideas I didn't come up with. This was actually someone else's idea. And we talked about it and we said yes. Rather than me sending tons of responses back through email, I came on and I just stated it. I didn't care whether or not anybody was going to get upset about it. And this continues to be the practice. Only now I don't have to say anything. People send us, I can't even tell you the amount of information that we get. It remains the same. The best way to prove a case is to have the documentation readily available. No better way but to have the actual live stream and or the link. Now, it'll save you a boatload of money if you don't have to go back to YouTube and request it through the court. So we appreciate everyone out there who's keeping us updated. And I want to make sure the safety alert is really emphasized. Also, a take care of yourself alert is put out there for everyone. And I'm referring to, again, decent people. I don't try to get through the demons and freaks and people who will target children. I know. I'm not dealing with any of that. Keep in mind that people will do all kinds of things. They will mention your children. They'll mention your family. They'll say they're going to come to your house. You know what they're looking for, right? They are looking for your immediate knee-jerk response to keep them going. It's a game to them. they think they can rule over you by instilling fear in you. So it's important that you avoid the knee jerk reaction. Now, we can react to things. Do not make it something on their terms. Make it on your terms and capture. Because if somebody harasses you or your children or your spouse, your loved one, it's connected to you. You can file a restraining order. Now, when I say harassing, let's get this straight. If they are posting information about you, your children, your spouse, your home, and you're not reciprocating, that's called uncontested harassment. You're not responding in kind. You can post videos and make comments about someone, but your comments are not harassing. You're not replicating that specific conduct. So that individual or those people are the ones who are going to have to answer to the court. Now, I have another video I have coming up. I really need to make sure I emphasize how Demon Moore, and I'm going to go into the details, Daryl Moore is looking for a new flunky to take the place of, let me see your handcuffs, because she's under criminal investigation along with him. So he's running around these YouTube streets looking for someone to post material on Larry Reed. And the same thing applies to Larry Reed and Company. He has people assigned to capture these live streams. He has his own team. And somebody in the Umar Johnson sector thinks they got off a video about Larry Reed. Now, that video was captured. I'll go into the detail in another video. But here I want to make sure that people know you're not obligated to respond directly what someone says about you or your family. And if they continue to do that, that is considered harassment. Your relative is not involved. Your child is not talking to them. Your spouse isn't talking to them. And they're posting your spouse's information in chats. That is harassment. Straight up, people. In this state, you don't have to threaten someone with violence to get a restraining order for harassment. What demons and freaks don't want to recognize, they think they can say whatever they want about you, and when you respond, that's harassment. Responding on your own terms is harassment. You're not replicating the same behavior that they did. But here's the bottom line. A judge will determine that. And you can best believe if a restraining order is filed, it's going to be served on the employer. So the employer can know what these people are up to, that they're hiding. I can guarantee you the crap that they're saying on their pages, they wouldn't dare take this information to their employer and say, look what I'm doing. Look, employer, look what I'm saying on the internet. Look at my race attacking videos. Look at me attacking people's spouses. Look at me trying to intimidate people with threats of violence, unprovoked threats of violence. That is the thing, people. Do you think that they're telling their employers that they're harassing children? Do you think that they're telling their probation officers that they're threatening people with rape and violence? You think they're doing that? I guarantee you the answer is no. Again, Grandmaster Jay is going to be serving 7 years in a federal prison, and he's also awaiting trial on state charges. He just didn't think anybody could say anything to him, and there was no one around to impose upon him the reality of how destructive his conduct was. Coming to YouTube and running his mouth. Not running your mouth sitting around friends. Nobody hears you except for your friends. They got to come to YouTube and broadcast what they're going to do to you. Threaten you, harass you, sexually degrade you. And they want you to respond. They want to see you shivering in your boots or your slippers, whatever, your moccasins, your sandals, your tennis shoes, whatever. They want a reaction. They're not getting a reaction from me. I know how to take care of myself within the confines of the law. I'm not the one who doesn't know how to control myself. I have complete control of my behaviors. I don't need to come to YouTube to scream at people to get them to respond to me. I don't need anyone screaming at me. I don't respond to that garbage. And this is what people want you to do. They go for your family. They go for your children. They threaten you with violence. You're not going to ever get me to replicate that conduct, I'm going to turn it over to the law. And I encourage all of you, don't put yourself in a position to end up like these freaks who threw their life away because they don't know how to stay out of the clutches of the law. They didn't learn from their legal encounters. Even if they don't have a recent arrest, they're still replicating the behavior they did on their arrest record. Then they have the nerve to come on here and try to rag on people who've openly disclosed, or rag on someone who didn't disclose, but they're hiding their conduct. They're hiding their extensive criminal record. Please give me a break. Listen, it's important you know what your rights are. Don't hesitate when it comes to exercising your rights. Don't feel you have to respond to someone who is attacking you with threats of violence. Just simply contact the police and continue to do so. We don't ask permission for demons and freaks if we can protect ourselves and our families. They're expecting you to do that because that's unfortunately how our communities have operated. And when we did that, we subjected ourselves to these exact behaviors of these individuals coming online, trying to tell you to shut up and threatening you. Oh, like hell, I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to run my mouth like everybody else. And I'm going to run my mouth and take action that's going to protect me, not those who are threatening me or harassing me. Now, people, you know I have much more to come. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer, beware.